Hello? The main military news from Ukraine for January 16th. Bad news from Congress. Speaker Johnson says he will block any deal on immigration reform. He's pushing for an ultimatum, and has privately stated that Congress won't be able to solve the border crisis until Trump or another Republican is president. In fact, it threatens U.S. aid to Ukraine, because it wants to be funded in conjunction with U.S. border security. Senate Minority Leader McConnell, though, is urging passage of the agreement. I'll tell you the real information. Russia is not achieving strategic goals at all. Ursula von der Leyen. When Russia attacked Ukraine, many feared that Kiev would fall in a few days and the rest of the country in weeks. But in the end, Russia lost half of its combat power, and Ukraine regained half of its territories. The European Parliament chief said, Ukraine should abandon the offensive and go on the defense. Bloomberg. This is the message from Biden in Davos to Zelenskyy that will be conveyed by U.S. Presidential Advisor Sullivan. The main points of the article. Zelenskyy understands why this makes sense, although he would not like to talk about it publicly. Before the U.S. election, Russia will focus on holding the seized territories, hoping for a Trump victory. Zelenskyy is right to reject Western calls for a ceasefire, because Russia will take advantage of the pause. Zelenskyy should ask Sullivan for increased arms supplies in exchange for a shift to defense. Putin admits for the first time that he is not trying to liberate Ukraine, but to conquer it. Direct speech. As for this negotiation process, an attempt to induce us to give up the conquests that we have realized in the last year and a half. But it's impossible. Everybody understands that it's impossible. And they understand that the ruling circles in Ukraine and the Western elites understand it. Near Avdiivka, the occupants made a breakthrough with a column of armored vehicles. DeepState. To the south of Vasil, the Russian army tried to pass through the dachas and enter the settlement. Our fighters fought back. Bradley and FPV drones helped. The occupiers retreated. The new Ramstein will take place on January 23, the Pentagon said, and today Lloyd Austin spoke about it with Ukrainian Defense Minister Rustem Umerov. The United States and a coalition of approximately 50 allies and partners remain committed to supporting Ukraine in its fight against Russian aggression, the U.S. Defense Secretary emphasized. Latvia creates UAV coalition of almost 20 countries to provide thousands of drones to the Ukrainian Armed Forces Ministry of Defense. Aid to Ukraine could be voted on in the coming weeks, says National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan at Davos meeting. Joe Biden has also reportedly invited congressional leaders to the White House for a meeting tomorrow to discuss negotiations on a national security spending bill to help Ukraine. Yesterday, the occupants attacked from 3 directions on the northeastern outskirts of Avdiivka. The soldiers of the 110th Brigade had to stop the enemy's advance yesterday. 2 simultaneous waves of infantry platoons were attacking in the Kamianka area. The goal was either to try to make a breakthrough in small groups or to distract from another attack. At the same time, a convoy of at least 10 armored vehicles was moving through Vasil to Avdiivka. The suicide tank at the head of the convoy was acting as a deminer, and our guys thought it was remotely controlled until the last moment. The infantry fighting vehicles immediately dropped off the infantry and let them run. The infantry was immediately hit, and we were unable to count the losses. Some of the weapons were destroyed. The footage can be seen in the previous video on the channel. As for the 2 waves near Kamianka, about 20 people from 2 platoons were killed and wounded. The rest fled. Despite the complexity of combat operations in the elongated contact line, the Defense Forces fighters managed to successfully inflict effective damage on the enemy. An important role is played by the 110th Separate Mechanized Brigade, which is making every effort to hold its positions. Russians are advancing east of Bilohorivka. DeepState. So far, the enemy has made minor advances, but it is slowly painting a picture of the current tactics of the F***Kurs in the Bakhmut sector. The occupants have changed the vector of their assault operations, shifting it from Makiivka to Serebryansky Forest and Bilohorivka. In these centers, 19 Russian attacks were repelled yesterday. Luhansk Regional Military Administration. They still have a lot of people, but we do not have enough shells. Reports from the front. 11 occupants were destroyed behind Dubov. 24 tanks. 36 armored combat vehicles. 30 artillery systems. 94 combat engagements took place over the past day. General Staff. In particular, Russia-backed militants' assault activity is observed in the following areas. Avdiivka 34 enemy attacks were repelled. Lymansky 32 attacks. Mariinka 12 attacks. Bakhmut 7 attacks. Aviation of the Defense Forces struck 22 areas of concentration of personnel, weapons and military equipment, as well as 1 air defense system. Missile troops destroyed 3 areas of the air defense forces, 8 artillery pieces, 1 air defense piece and 2 enemy radars. That was all the main military news from Ukraine. Thank you for watching this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest military news from Ukraine. Goodbye.